twins? Nah, we cousins.
Hello everybody, I'm cocoacosmos and I'm here to inform you that movies are most definitely back. I've been to the movies more in the past few months than I've ever been in my entire life, honestly. Are the movies getting better, or is it just clever marketing? You may judge for yourself, but in this video, I will be giving my 2 cents on 10 movies I've seen this year so far. Fair warning, a few of these have blood and gore in them, no matter the genre, so if you wanted to watch any of these, be prepared for that. Spoilers galore. With that out of the way, let's go. So, it has been decided that a tier list might be a better format for this than my original scoring plan. It's a tad bit more forgiving too. It'll be the standard S through F tiers with plus and minuses added when need be. The rankings will be based mostly on my first impression, first viewing as I've only watched a few of these once, how much it kept my attention, and rewatchability factor. And with a final disclaimer of, this is my opinion and my channel, feel free to disagree. Let's get into these movies. First up, The Monkey. The Monkey is based on a Stephen King short story, and I absolutely love me some Stephen King. Then when I saw the trailer, I knew it was going to be right up my alley. This movie would be best described as an even more cartoony Final Destination. It's like if Final Destination said, yeah, we don't need this big elaborate scheme anymore, just take care of it. The plot itself is pretty okay, like, very okay. But the main event? The monkey itself? The only thing you can predict with it is that someone will in fact be deceased after every turn. Who? Who knows, honestly. The monkey does whatever it wants as long as you turn the key. Which is funny because that's exactly what keeps happening. All you have to do is not turn the key and nothing will happen. It's basically this meme. But emotions get in the way, and people decease in many ways. Creative ways, might I add. Some of them don't make any sense, mind you, but who cares? The movie is fun. I love horror comedies. The deaths are only a little suspecting to a point. I won't spoil all the fun. If you like goofy movies, I recommend it from this line alone.
We got meat like eggs and scramble!
B- tier. Next, Sinners. We're jumping to more recent releases because, oh my goodness, pure cinema. This one is the second to last movie I saw in public, and I don't regret it one bit. I mean, come on, black vampires? You had me seated from the concept alone. Now, I will say, just from the trailer, I thought this story was going elsewhere. I thought Miss Mary was here for revenge, or this was gonna be a racism thing. Which, technically, I wasn't wrong.
Well, no, we believe in equality.
I'm gonna say less for this review because I don't want to give away all the good stuff. But, I wasn't ready for the amount of music and dancing that was included. It was so beautiful how the dancing and music was shown and grained in different cultures, although. Like, seeing the different eras was a bit jarring, not gonna lie. Wasn't expecting it, but once I caught on, I was like, I love this movie. Loved just about everything about it. The two things I didn't love were how weak this brand of vampire was and how easily solvable the situation was. On both ends. And I know I'm probably gonna get lots of comments about Grace. I'm here to agree with you. She didn't have to do that. If they were really concerned about the town and the daughter, they could have also just teased the vampires until sunrise. Had Sammy play some guitar while we wait because apparently sunrise wasn't that far away. Like, they can't come in unless you say so. They're too weak to brute force it. Their whole plan is trickery and manipulation. In theory, this should have been the easiest win. But then we wouldn't have plot. The more surprising thing is that this movie was 2 hours, because it really didn't feel like it to me. It filled that time perfectly. A+. Final Destination Bloodlines. Let me tell you, I've been waiting for this movie since it was just a rumor with an entirely different concept 14 years ago. I've been waiting since it got confirmed last year. I have been waiting since we got the official cast and plot confirmed. The anticipation was killing me. Pun not intended. I was watching everything with damn near bated breath, waiting for sneak peeks, teasers, trailers, anything to show me what this movie I've been waiting for nearly half my life looks like. My god. I was like a kid on Christmas Day when it came out. I actually avoided spoilers when test screenings started. I've never cared about being spoiled for anything before. The only things I knew that were coming was from the trailers and the MRI scene that was the buzz around the Final Destination subreddit. Final Destination is my most favorite movie franchise in the entire world. Now about this movie. First things first, this was Mr. Tony Todd's final role, and it was done beautifully. I hope he's resting well. He wrote his own monologue for his appearance, which makes it that much more touching. That much more real. Yes, these movies are meant to be a little unserious, but at the end of the day, death does come for us all when you least expect it. Now in this movie, we find out who he's meant to be in the FD universe. His presence has always been ambiguous at best, just lurking around funerals and saying ominous things. It's mostly been speculated that he's a personification of death or just an omen. I like how we finally got that pinned down for him before he left us. On to other aspects. The deaths were all kind of sharp and sudden except for the MRI one. It was either an impale or a smash. Like, I'm fairly sure this movie had the most impales out of the series, which actually surprised me. The franchise is known for the elaborate steps taken to get a kill, so with everything happening damn near immediately, was genuinely shocking to me. Death was not playing with them. There's a theory I saw as to why this is, but I'm hoping this fires the series back up and it's explained later. I wish Howard's death wasn't spoiled in the trailers because they basically put the whole scene in there. Personally, I think it could have just been some close calls and Eric's fake outs. The movie overall was more comedic than scary. It felt less like death is hunting you and more like death is an inevitability. The difference being, one is where you could maybe survive, and the other being, oh no, it's curtains no matter what. I'm finding a way. I do not care. You've disrupted my timeline long enough. Like, this was clearly personal at this point. Eric was great comedic relief. Probably my favorite character because he just absolutely was taking nothing serious. Until it seemed like his baby brother and sister were in danger. That's another thing. The familial connection brings a whole new feeling. Yeah, in the other movies they were like friends or classmates or even co-workers, but there's no bond like family if you have a good one. It adds to the desperation of it all, the sense of urgency. Except, in my opinion, this family fumbled so badly. They might have just been hope from the start though, because death was gonna make it happen regardless. The unique thing is that our visionary Stephanie never had a premonition of her own, only flashbacks to Iris's, which I'll be talking about the opening premonition soon. I think this aspect is cool, but also I wish she did at some point have a vision or picked up on signals and clues for the deaths. Debatably, she did for Julia, but she didn't know it was for Julia. Not her fault, but it's a don't be sorry, be careful moment. She kinda did for Howard, but it was way too late. Stephanie had a sense of urgency, but it just wasn't applied properly. Like, how do you say, he's about to make a move, then drive straight into the move? Let's talk about the opening premonition now. Amazing. One of the best first premonitions in the series. At least top 3 for me, and it ain't 3. They even made history with it. They had a rule, possibly unspoken, but they had a rule where they didn't want to harm any young children on screen. They made this kid so unlikable that people cheered when he got dealt with. And I just know they had fun with stunts. They had this lady running around for the longest with fire on her back. My one thing was the build up to the main event. They let us know this building was raggedy to begin with, and made it a big deal to show that Iris was already terrified. For good reason, but they kinda laid it on a bit thick there. They gave us all the signals of what was going to happen before it happened. In other premonitions, it wasn't like too obvious, I would say. Maybe a loose bolt here, maybe some breaking safety regulations there. They kinda put it in your face with this one. I don't mind, because the payoff was really good. But I like it when I don't know what part is going to kick off the main event. And the ending, well...
Okay, great gowns, beautiful gowns.
Novocaine. I enjoyed this movie, honestly. Our main guy here has a health condition in which he can't feel pain. He can still get sick and harm himself, but he doesn't feel pain signals. So he plays it quite safe. Even has an alarm to tell him when to pee because he can't feel the pain of a full bladder. I will say it's an interesting point to base a movie around, and I'm surprised it wasn't done sooner. Very much action comedy. The actual plot is very meh to me. It's basically another boring guy gets swept up in action nonsense for a girl. This girl specifically. But the fact that he doesn't feel pain and just has to watch out for infection, fatigue, and major organs make for a fun time. It's not amazing, but it's definitely not bad. The ending kind of pisses me off though. Remember this girl? Well, they go on a date, spend the night together, you know, the whole I like you shebang. But turns out, it's a setup! Yeah, she set him up bad. There's 3 guys that rob the bank they work at, right? Well, one is her brother. Sorry, spoiled the twist. But the ending is absolute horse malarkey to me. Bro spent the whole movie literally getting tortured, chasing after her, just for it to be her fault. But she has a change of heart, so it's not that bad. And they end up together. No way. Absolutely not. All that said, I'd watch it again. Good thing I have a soft spot for Jack Quaid. And speaking of Jack Quaid, Companion. He's in this one too! And boy, does it show his range. I wouldn't say I have a type, but I do have a thing for tall, awkward, somewhat lanky men. And in the first half, that's basically all he was. But don't let this sweet intro fool you. It's truly sinister. I don't want to say too much, because the whole movie is twist after twist. And I'm planning on doing a full recap soon. However you're expecting it to go, you're probably wrong. Movie of the year for me. S tier. Easy. The twists, the turns, the acting, the storyline, the pacing, everything. Chef's kiss. Actual cinema. If you're interested in how technology can go wrong, watch this movie. Please. This is definitely for the Black Mirror enthusiasts. I've been singing praises this entire time and giving some light critiques. Let's get into some movies that let me down. Starting with Drop. Now, I don't know if it was just me, but I didn't actually see that much promo for this movie to begin with. Just a few 5-second spots until it got closer to the release date. I thought it was gonna be great. I love me a good murder mystery. The problem here is, their ads did exactly what they were supposed to do. They put the most interesting parts of the movie in the daggone trailers. They got me! I thought I was walking into a fun whodunit situation. Instead, I sat there for 2 hours waiting for the good part. Nah, that's an exaggeration. More like an hour 30, because around the reveal, things did get interesting. Main character was making all the wrong choices, prolonging the inevitable. And the simplest way to say it, she was playing too much. Her son's life is on the line, and she's playing witch hunt. I didn't want this man to be poisoned. Mostly because I find him attractive. I'm a sucker for some sad looking eyes. But I mean, if I were a single mom, and the only way to make sure my son was safe is to poison some guy I just met and have no or very little attachment to, guess what I'm choosing? The antagonist was kind of easy to predict. This guy didn't deserve what happened to him. Neither did this guy. These guys stole the whole show. Cinematography left me dizzy. C-, and I'm being generous. Now, just because I didn't like it doesn't mean you won't, and I encourage you to watch it for yourself, since this seems to be one of those movies where you either really like it or you can't stand it. I think it's literally mid. Like, 5 out of 10 mid. Like, it's watchable, but left me antsy to get it over with. Probably would only watch it again if I was watching it with someone else and it was their first time seeing it. One of them days. It's cute. It's pretty funny. Not something life-changing. I've watched this one at least 3 times. The initial watch, the watch for the recap I'm working on, and watched it again with my friend who hadn't seen it just to get his thoughts. Turns out, that third watch was a mistake, because I realized it has no rewatchability factor for me. It's a pretty alright movie. I love me a good buddy comedy, especially if women are the main characters. If you like Friday, you'll like this, because it's basically a Friday clone, kinda. SZA and Kiki's chemistry was fun to see. They played off each other really well. The story had main conflict, side conflicts, decent comedic timing, but overall, I didn't like the ending, because somebody like me? Oh yeah, after we get everything settled, I'm absolutely done with you. This whole movie was her fault, and got the nerve to be mad when told as such. But y'all will hear all of that in my recap. If you don't want to wait for that though, I'll let you know she's literally that friend that makes horrible choices and makes it your problem. They have the opposites attract dynamic, as Kiki's character is trying to better herself, and SZA's character is not actively trying. I give it a C. Love Hurts. I watched this one pretty recently because I'll be honest, I kind of forgot about it. I remember seeing the ads for it and thinking it was pretty fun. It came out around Valentine's Day, so easy marketing to be honest. A movie called Love Hurts centered around yearning and a guy who used to know his way around some martial arts and released a week before Valentine's Day? Easy money. Light work. At least it should have been. It made back just under their budget and the reviews were not kind at all. Mostly pointed to Ariana DeBose's acting and how not good it was. Honestly, I can see it. The whole movie, it felt like she was pretending to be a cool girl stereotype, which, to be fair, it is the character, but she just couldn't convince me that's who the character was. It felt like the character was acting themselves. Everybody else was cool in the acting department, including the cameo from this guy. Imagine my surprise when I'm supposed to be watching a movie where people are a part of a low-key crime syndicate, and I see a property brother. I thought it was only gonna go as far as him just being another realtor in the neighborhood, but he got actual lines in a small fight scene. Speaking of fight scenes, another complaint that was pretty common was the fight scenes looking too choreographed. My first thought was, yeah, that's how it goes, all fight scenes are choreographed. But then I saw what they meant. It just looked a little too polished. Like, they knew exactly what was about to happen, and considering this is supposed to be happening to the characters in real time, it needs to look a bit messier. And while we're on the subject, the ADR is not great for those scenes either. I've taken a bit of an interest in voice acting recently, and I thought I was only noticing it because I was watching the movie with a bit of a critical lens. It's what I do after all. Then I learned what ADR was. ADR is when they edit in sounds and dialogues during certain scenes that they couldn't record properly on set or would enhance the scene itself. Bro's lips weren't even moving, but he was meant to be speaking.
I'm home. Oh, I got it. Get your ass over here.
One last thing that I wasn't going for was the main couple. This girl was high and mighty as all get out. Marvin was enjoying his soft regular life, and she tells him that he's just hiding and it's not living. He worked his ass off as a realtor, built his own little community, and is genuinely happy. But since it's boring, clearly he can't enjoy it. She genuinely pissed me off so bad because come the last big fight, she has the nerve to say that she needs all of him. Clearly, no, she doesn't. She only wants the part of him he's trying to leave behind. She's like the villain that says, this monster will always be a part of you, that'll never change. Hello? He's living his best life? He doesn't want to hurt people anymore? Let him live his soft life. She was manipulative, and I won't see it otherwise. Like, he let her live when he wasn't supposed to, and how does she repay him? By blowing up his life. Oh my god. Now, about the stuff I liked. I thought every other couple, on screen or off, was really sweet. This one being my favorite one. The rest of cast acting was pretty good, which kind of makes me feel bad because this movie wasn't great. Wasn't bad, but it kind of feels like the talent could be used elsewhere, unless they just wanted to do something fun and unserious. This definitely is a fun date movie, and this would probably be my own comfort movie. The fight scenes with Raven in it actually look decent, and less dressed as they should be. These three carried, if we're being honest, with honorable mention to these two. B-. A working man. I am an absolute sucker for the roughneck that can be cordial, but Lord help you if you mess with anyone he cares about. So when I saw the trailer for this one, I thought, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this. I thought it was because they took his sunshine, and as the sunshine protector, he's gotta go handle that. That's not necessarily how it goes. Turns out, Jason Statham's character, Lemme, is a guy who's ex-military who has experience in this type of thing. And the sunshine he has to find is the daughter of his bosses at the construction company he works for. I still dig this. What I like best is at least she doesn't take being abducted lying down. She literally bit this man's face off because it wasn't gonna go down like that. The movie itself feels a teensy bit long, but it's not unbearable. By the third act, I was ready for the wrap-up, and the wrap-up came at the right time. Highly recommend if you're an action fan. I'm not really one, but I won't turn it down. Last but not least, Death of a Unicorn. Now, I'm extremely sensitive to animals getting harmed in any way, even if they're animated. Literally, I almost cried during a One Piece episode because I thought something happened to this dog, but he was fine. So it was a little hard to get through this one, but if you're like me, I'm happy to report the unicorn is okay. Getting past that, the movie was actually alright. I'd definitely watch it again. There's a small narrative about how humans can treat some animals, using them for all they've got and not caring about the well-being of said animal, being greedy, yada yada. But if you don't care about any of that soapbox stuff, let me tell you about the fun. This guy carried, let me tell you. He's exactly how you need to act in a situation where an animal is about to obliterate you. My favorite character by far. Jenna Ortega and Will Poulter were also amazing. Will is another one of my pookies, but I'm not biased, I swear. His American accent was a little funny to my ears though, because I know what his natural voice sounds like. So it was like my brain was short-circuiting. That's not saying it was bad by a long shot. It was amazing, fit the character perfectly. It just tickles my brain, I guess. The fact that she can still play a 15-year-old at 22, which isn't that astounding, honestly. I was just shocked to find out she was 22. Has me thinking about how people still think I'm 18 or 19. I might need to start using my baby face for some roles. For Paul Rudd, I don't know what happened here, but he did not do it for me in this one. It was like he was overacting, I guess. Like, he was trying hard to act like how that character would act. Now, as far as the character goes, he pissed me off terribly. Like, your daughter is literally telling you the unicorns are gonna f you up if you don't leave it alone. And you're ignoring her for what exactly? If those unicorns eat you, then there would be no need for money. There's a little comedy thrown in here and there, some hits, some misses. Overall, not too bad. The CGI was really good on the unicorns. If I didn't know any better, I think they used actual ones. I want to watch the behind the scenes on this movie because I want to see how they got the environmental interactions. And finally, I absolutely love the ending. It gets an A from me. Honestly, the critics weren't too kind to some of these, which makes me feel like I'm missing something, but mostly makes me feel like they have no taste. Here's the full list. Think I got it wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Cocoa Cosmos out.